Hey, everybody. This is Greg Napier coming to you once again. And from my home here in Columbus, Ohio. What I want to talk to you guys about today is something that I had a conversation with a couple of people today. Both of them, one of them was a friend of my son, and another one was a real dear friend of mine out of California. And it sparked something in me to share with my audience. And I want to talk to you about residual income and residual bills. And yes, wow. When I tell you the conversation that I had with the young kid, he didn't even have a clue to what residual bills were. Even though he knew that he got his light bill every month, car note, rent, and all of that. And then I said, well, let me ask you a question. You get those bills every month, right? Heaven forbid you lose your job. Now your money stops, but the residual bills keep going. And I said, let me give you another example. And we'll just do it on the end like this. You work for Chase Bank, which is a local bank right here. And just say a guy that owns a Subway. And for whatever reason, his employees stop coming. He loses the franchise. We don't want that to happen. But guess what? He still got residual bills. They're called expenses. They're not going to stop coming. The residual bills don't care anything about the fact that you don't have income. All they know is that you got a lease on the building, you got utilities, you got overhead, you got everything that's taking place. Then I was talking, and then this is two separate conversations, and I didn't even ask for this. It was just me talking to my friend in California. And I happened to mention to him about, talking about the difference between residual income and residual bills, because we're in a network marketing space. And we're always talking to people about residual income, and they're always saying, oh, that's one of them little things. You're going to go to jail for doing that, or you can't make no money in that. And then I kindly educate them. See, that's all it is, ladies and gentlemen, is lack of education. Because residual bills are going to keep coming regardless. So why not create you a stream of residual income? And I use the example of our son, who's a doctor, and he gets paid weekly, and he has a lot of patients. But here's the deal. When the patients stop coming, his money stops coming. But the rent don't stop coming in from the office building, or the mortgage he has to pay, or the 3 kids that he has to feed. None of that stops. All his overhead keeps coming. Those are called residual bills. So, ladies and gentlemen, get educated before you start throwing things around, talking about I make a good salary, I'm making 6 figures a year, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant. And those are all admirable professions. Or you can work in corporate America and be making 6 figures a year. But here's the deal. If for whatever reason you're not working, your money stops, but the residual bills keep coming. So he told me, meaning my friend in California, he said, Greg, let me tell you a story about my uncle that used to live not too far from you in Dayton, Ohio, and he was a doctor for over 20 years. And he said that his uncle had a practice. The government came in for whatever, he didn't get into the details, came in and swooped up all his information. They accused him of Medicare fraud for whatever reason. I don't know if it's true or false, if he was guilty or innocent. The moral of the story is he had a stroke. He had a lot of money coming in. He owned a lot of property. Once he had the stroke and he could not work, his residual bills kept coming. Guess what happened? He lost everything. Now, this man didn't work his whole life, built up his portfolio. He got rental properties. He has 5 acres of land. This is what my friend telling me out in California of his uncle that was a prominent doctor over in Dayton. That's what sparked me to say, you know what, I need to shoot a video about residual bills and residual income. Because we got a lot of people out here who are just not educated. That's the bottom line. You need education. So when I come to you and talk to you about a network marketing business and you say that's one of them pyramid things and you can't make no money, I'm not good at sales, when you've been selling your whole life but you just haven't made any money on it. And that's for another video. So when you tell me, oh, I'm not good at sales, you good at sales, and I don't like the sales stuff. Well, let me clue you in on something. You're doing two things in this world, ladies and gentlemen. You buying something or you selling something. That's the bottom line. And you don't have to believe me. Just look around in your life. So with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, I always like to send out educational pieces every now and then. And I started to shoot a video about something totally unrelated and totally different. But I said, you know what? People need to hear this. There are residual bills and there is residual income. You make the choice. Now, don't get me wrong. You can stay. The job is wonderful. But if you put all your eggs in one basket and that basket gets a hole in it, then what? Then what you going to do? Huh? And you want to talk about plan A, plan B, and you don't even have nothing. Because all your eggs was in one basket. So I'm going to leave you guys like I always leave you. There's greatness inside of each and every one. Go forth in victory. And I'll see you guys on the next video.